Okay, so we were successful. Due to your advice, the project manager has gotten approved the project request, and the project can be kicked off. In the meanwhile, the project manager has selected the team members. He or she has organized office space and other resources for the whole team. And in order to actually launch the project, often a so-called kickoff session is organized, to which the project manager invites all project team members and relevant stakeholders. In addition to providing information to all of the participants and to give them the opportunity to meet for the first time, there is an important motivational aspect in this meeting, in the sense that the project manager needs to get the adherence and the support of the team members and of the stakeholders, so they contribute positively to the project. Thomas, how would you structure such a kickoff session so that we meet the goals mentioned, and especially that there is this motivational push for all the participants to really engage in this project?
The key is make it fun.
Okay.
Make it such that people want to come there.
Yes.
Make it such that you're a project manager where people want to be part of your team.
Mm-hmm.
One aspect that sometimes gets forgotten is that, and sometimes it's not possible, but ideally, you talk to your sponsor about this, you don't want anybody there on the team that is already known for being someone who stands on the brakes.
Mm.
Yeah, so team selection is a topic here.
Yes.
Now, once the good people are in the room, it will be already easier to have a positive atmosphere, have an energetic, exciting atmosphere in the room. That's what you try to inject into your team members. Yes. Should be a situation where people want to be there. Yeah, good. We can change the world for the better, or we can change the company for the better, or I can, in addition, I can make experiences on this project that I have never made before. It's to my own benefit as well. Mm-hmm. I remember this one time there was this SAP project, mm-hmm. and some people didn't want to participate. They were in the bookkeeping department, mm-hmm. and they knew that if they participated in the project, they would be made obsolete. They wouldn't be working there anymore. Yep. So they were, of course, reluctant to be part of this project. Mm-hmm. Well, what the project manager did, he explained, hey, look, this project will go for 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. In this particular case, I think it was 12. Yeah. Now, during those 12 months, you are being paid to learn about SAP. Now, you have a choice. Either you participate and you learn, or you don't and you don't learn. After the 12 months, if you learned about SAP, you will be a valuable resource about a software that is much sought after. A lot of companies want people who have experience with SAP, and here you are paid to get this experience, to learn about it. So you might want to consider participating. So it's like, oh, it's my benefit. Oh, yeah, that's positive. Okay, I'll participate. And most of these people did. Yeah, out of the, I think there were 12 or 15 team members, and all but one understood that it was in their favor to participate, to learn about this. So this is something you might want to consider when you are a project manager and you're trying to get people in the boat. Yeah. Then, of course, during the kickoff, it's good if the sponsor's there, and you want to have something there for drink and for food. Yeah, you want a positive atmosphere. Yeah, people get together. They feel better if they have something to drink. They feel better if they have something to eat. Mm-hmm. And if you can, make sure you have a little budget of the project that allows for these kinds of an expense. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Usually minuscule compared to what the project costs. Yeah. So get some decent sandwiches or some decent, I don't know, a little buffet, and I was once on a project. The guy organized some, well, not champagne, but Prosecco, the Italian version of champagne. Yeah, hey, that was awesome. It's like, oh, cool. So we'll have fun here. Yeah, and it should be fun. Yeah, you're going to spend, I don't know, 8, 10, 12 or more hours per day on a project.
True. Yeah.
Better start well.
Mm-hmm.
The kickoff is only about setting the tone.
Yes.
And about informing. It's not about working. Don't make this a work session.
Mm-hmm.
Work comes later.
Comes later. Okay.
Yeah, this is about information, about getting people excited, about getting to meet each other, to see what's the chemistry between these people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and make sure you also set the expectations.
Mm-hmm.
You can use this session to ask, well, how would you like to work together? Mm-hmm. What do you feel that this team what makes this team more successful?
Yeah.
So when we meet, shall we be allowed to use smartphones? Shall we use laptops because we want to write things down? Or no, we don't want to use laptops, or in certain situations we do and in others we don't. How much emphasis do you place on being punctual for meetings?
Yeah.
How much emphasis do you put on how punctual you want to be for your deliverables? Things like that. How do you want to communicate? Will you be having a meeting every Monday morning at 8 and discuss what you are going to do the upcoming week?
Mm-hmm.
Things like that. People have some kind of reservations towards the project? Do they see some obstacles that we need to address?
Mm-hmm.
And somebody might come up and say, I don't know, I have another project at the same time. I don't see how I can spend so much of my time on this project. This will be an obstacle, which will in turn give you the opportunity to go to the sponsor and address this.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so this kickoff should be on a positive note, get to know each other and find out how people feel about this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then you're off to a good start.
Exactly. You mentioned asking the participants to share their thoughts, share their concern and so on. And actually, quite often, the project manager plans for an interactive part in this kickoff session. And the worst thing that could happen at that moment is that no one holds up the hand, no one speaks, and the room is silent. How could one avoid that? What are your tips and tricks in order to succeed in this kind of exchange during, for example, a kickoff session?
A good point. And this doesn't only happen in kickoff sessions. This happens many times in presentations in general.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, any questions? And then there is silence. You're on the graveyard. This is particularly true in Switzerland, or in the German-speaking part of Switzerland, I should say. And I think it's a bit of a cultural thing. So it's a good thing to know your audience. Do the audience analysis. Who are they? Is this going to be likely to be a problem or not? And in certain cultures, this is not a problem at all. I know some people from certain cultural backgrounds, they can ask a question even before you started to say anything. But anyway, so if there is the danger that nobody says anything and it's going to be an awkward silence, here are two ideas that you can implement. One is you've thought of a question of yourself. And you can say something, well, a question that often is asked is this. And then you ask the question.
Okay.
And of course, you will give a great answer because you already know what the question is.
Okay.
Okay, so that's an ideal situation. Okay, you ask the question, you answer it. Love it.
So you break the ice like that. Okay, yeah.
Exactly.
Nice idea.
And the other method is, well, you know a few people of this project team. Usually you do know one or another. So you prepare this person, you plant the seed. You think of a question ahead of time, or a couple of them, and
Mhm.
then you brief this project member, the person who will be there, and you'll say something like, well, if there's nobody asking a question during the first 5 seconds, please go ahead and you ask this question. So you as a project manager provide that person with the question,
Yeah.
and he will be briefed, and then if there's nothing, okay, so here I go, and I ask that question.
Mm.
Again, you already knew what the question is, and you'll give a great answer.
Okay.
That helps.
Yeah. So it takes
Now,
a bit of preparation, right?
exactly. It's about preparation. Well, a lot of life is about preparation. Preparation and practice. And then another idea is, if you want to take more time for this piece, for this part of the presentation or this kickoff, and talking about kickoff, you can provide and distribute cards to write on. People can write. That also helps many people to think better and to actually, well, write something, to in quotes, say something. You collect the cards, you go through them, you say, here's somebody who says something about this. If you don't understand entirely what it says, you can read it and then say, I'm not sure I understand it entirely. Can you, whoever wrote this, comment on this? And that's how you get people to talk. That's how you get those interaction to work.
Okay. Nice idea.
Again, to come back to something we heard in a previous video, it's about your confidence. If you are self-confident, you're confident that people will ask questions, the probability that questions will be asked is higher than if you're thinking, no, nobody's going to ask any questions anyway. Yeah. No, think positive. Think ahead how you think it will run smoothly, how people will ask questions. Much more likely that it actually will happen if you think that way than as the contrary.
Yeah, agree. Definitely. Okay.
And we're talking to young people. Think about this. You're in a bar and you see somebody, you're thinking, that person would be interesting to talk to. Now, if you're thinking, yes, why don't I go over there and say hello? And I will get a positive reaction. The person will also say hello. Yeah. Then it's very likely that it will happen that way. However, if you are at the bar and you're seeing somebody you like to, and you're thinking, that person will not like me coming over and say hello. The person will be, what does this person want from me? It's likely that will happen just because you thought so. That's where one quote from Zig Ziglar, an American motivational speaker from many years ago, comes in, and I remember one of his sayings. It's, don't have stinking thinking.
Okay.
Contrary, think positive.
Thanks.
Norman Vincent Peale.
You instill this positive.
Norman Vincent Peale, go ahead and read one of his books. And Zig Ziglar, listen to one of his tapes.
Great. Thanks. And you instill this positive energy in the kickoff session and into the whole project. Excellent. Thanks a lot for these pieces of advice.
Pleasure. I wish you success.
Thank you.